Hello, lovely ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. Tonight, the man that you know and love so well, Sir Tristram, is back in action, kicking booty and finding himself in perilous, dangerous situations from which there might be no mortal escape. Which is exactly what we want on a Wednesday night, isn't it? Ladies and gents, I'm excited. I hope you're excited. He's finally back. We've been waiting what seemed like an age for him to be joining the show. But he's back into the show now, which is enough to make me very, very happy this evening. So hello, and good morning. Hello, Amanda. Hello, Vicky. I said morning. It's evening. But hey, I'm having that topsy-turvy time where I just don't know what's what anymore. Come in, guys. Sit yourselves down and welcome to the show. We'll give it another minute or so before we get started, but welcome. How are you both this evening? I'm good. Obviously talking because I have time delays on Periscope. Okay. Could be better than okay, Amanda. Yeah, we could be better than okay. We'll try by the end of this show to get us better than an okay. If I can move from an okay to a good by the end of the show, I'll know that we've had a good job tonight. I am very well, Vicky. Off to work. Well, yeah, I can understand that being off to work might bring down the energy levels slightly. I finished work for the day though, so I'm excellent. I am feeling good. I am feeling sorted. I am feeling centered in the world. It's always a nice position to be in, isn't it? And so, here we go. I've got Periscope playing silly. Just give me a second. I'm going to have to back up Periscope, because sometimes Periscope is silly and I have to take the backup. I have to talk whilst I'm loading up the backup Periscope. Because if I don't talk through the backup Periscope... Oh, no. There we go. That was the backup Periscope, ladies and gents. I have to use the backup one sometimes. Sometimes the screen plays up funny on this one. And we do need it. We do need it. Can I? Oh, look. Here we go. It was, well, yeah, we like a bit of weirdness, Amanda. We like a bit of weirdness in the show. It helps keep things entertaining. If it was no weirdness, then you know, you'd lose interest. Here we go. Okay. Good. Backup Periscope's in place. I've got wires. Hiccup. Wires all over the place. But it's sorted. Hello, radio. Hello. Come in and sit yourself down. Welcome. Good. That you don't care about the mess. I hope you don't care about the mess. That's what we like. We don't care when people don't care about the mess. Anyway, ladies and gents, let's get into tonight's show without further ado. We are telling of the grand return of everybody's favourite knight, Sir Tristram. Sir Tristram, the most faithful knight in all the realm. The second greatest knight after Sir Lancelot. He is the darling of Cornwall, one of the Knights of the Round Table, beloved of the beautiful Isolde of Cornwall. He is the man that everybody wants to be, the man that every woman wants to be with. He has no equal, it seems, either on the battlefield or the bedroom, for the Queen Isolde of Cornwall is very much in love with him, and he in love with her too. What could go wrong there? Well, what goes wrong, ladies and gents, is between Isolde and Tristram. There is, in fact, the little matter of Isolde's husband, the evil King Mark. We knew the man was a wretched son ever since we met him, ever before he started to become evil, But this man, consumed by jealousy and hatred of Tristram, after Tristram has done nothing to him, ladies and gents, nothing other than he may have slept with Mark's wife once or twice, or maybe for years on end. Mark's a bit upset about it, you know, he doesn't let these things go, and so he has dedicated his life to finding ways of executing or slaying Tristram, that man who has cuckolded him so. The problem is, ladies and gents, Mark is such a treacherous king who murders folk right, left and centre, that the rest of Britain is pretty much okay with the fact that Tristram is sleeping with his wife. Nobody's bothered about it. In fact, nobody is bothered about it to the point where King Arthur himself made King Mark swear that no harm should be allowed to come to Tristram. Well, what can you do when King Arthur tells you not to harm the man who's sleeping with your wife? I'll tell you what you do, ladies and gents. I'll tell you what you do. You come up with plans and plots in secret to have Tristram executed, as well as every single man who would ever think of supporting Tristram. And this, ladies and gents, is where we find ourselves at the start of tonight's tale. We have been telling the tales of the jousting tournament that Sir Galahad has been holding over in the land of Salois. Great men have jousted so far. It's been the jousting tournament to end all jousting tournaments. Sir Galahad has jousted, Sir Lancelot has jousted, Dinadan has jousted, Palomides has jousted, everyone who's anyone has jousted. But one knight, ladies and gents, one knight has not jousted at this event. Who is the knight? Who is the knight who hasn't jousted, Simon? I'll tell you who the knight is who hasn't jousted. The knight who hasn't jousted is, in fact, no other than the noble Sir Tristram himself. And so, ladies and gents, let's get into tonight's show and let's see just what happens when Sir Tristram rejoins the fray. Now, we turn from the matter of the tournament to speak of Sir Tristram, of whom this book is principally about. And we leave the king and the queen, Sir Lancelot and Sir Lamorak. And here begins the treason of King Mark that was ordained against Tristram. There was cried by the coasts of Cornwall a great tournament with many jousts therein. And all this was done by Sir Galahad, the Low Prince, and King Bagdamus, to the intent to either slay Lancelot or else to utterly destroy him and shame him by cause. For Sir Lancelot had always the higher degree, and therefore this prince and the king had made this joust against Sir Lancelot. However, their plot... So you didn't even realise that entire tournament was a plot against Lancelot, did you, ladies and gents? I should have a sound effect button so I can do the da-da-da. Their plot... I've lost the plot now. I've lost the line. I'm just going to keep rambling until I find the line. There's this plot was discovered unto King Mark, whereof he was glad. Then King Mark bethought that he would have Sir Tristram go to that tournament in disguise, so that no man should know him, but so that the Low Prince should think that Sir Tristram was Sir Lancelot, and thus have him slain in his stead. So, at these jousts, there came in Sir Tristram. And at that time Sir Lancelot was not there. But when they saw a knight in disguise do such deeds of arms, they believed it was Sir Lancelot. And in especial, King Mark said it was Sir Lancelot plainly. Then the men of the tournament set upon him, both King Bagdamus and the Low Prince, and their knights as well, so that it was a wonder that ever Sir Tristram might endure the pain of their blows. Notwithstanding all the pain he had, Sir Tristram won the degree at that tournament, and there he hurt many knights and bruised them, and they in turn hurt him and bruised him wonderfully sore. So, when the jousts were all done, they knew well that it was Sir Tristram de Lyon, and all that were on King Mark's party were glad that Tristram had been hurt, and the rest were sorry of his hurt, for Sir Tristram was not so behated as was Sir Lancelot within the realm of England. Then came King Mark to Sir Tristram, who said, "Fair nephew, I am sorry of your hurts." "Thank you, my lord," said Tristram. Then King Mark made Sir Tristram to be put on a horse fair, in great sign of love, and he said, "Fair cousin, I shall be your leech myself." And so he rode forth with Tristram and brought him to a castle by daylight, and then King Mark made Sir Tristram eat. And afterwards he gave him a drink, the which, as soon as he had drunk, he fell asleep. And when it was night, he made him to be carried to another castle, and there he put him in a strong prison. And there he ordained a man and a woman to give him his meat and drink. So there he was a great while. And then was Sir Tristram missed, and no creature knew what he had become. When the beautiful Isolde heard how he was missed, in secret she went to Sir Sadok and asked him to spy where Sir Tristram had gone. And when Sir Sadok knew how Sir Tristram was missed, and anon he saw that Tristram, once he had reached that castle, and once his wounds had been tended, had been put in prison by King Mark and the traitors of Magoons. Then Sadok and his cousins laid them in an ambush fast by the castle of Tintagel in arms, and as by fortune there came riding King Mark and 4 of his nephews, and a certain of the traitors who had imprisoned Tristram. When Sir Sadok saw them, he broke out of the ambush and set there upon them, and when King Mark saw Sir Sadok, he fled as fast as he might. And there Sir Sadok slew all 4 nephews unto King Mark. But these traitors that were with Mark slew one of Sir Sadok's cousins with a great wound in the neck. But Sadok smote the others to their death. Then Sir Sadok rode his way to a castle that was called Lyon. And there he saw of the treason and felony of King Mark. And so they of that castle rode with Sir Sadok until they came to a castle that was called Arbray. And there in the town they found Sir Dinas the Seneschal, who was a good knight. But when Sir Sadok had told Sir Dinas of all the treason of King Mark, he defied such a king, and said he would give up his lands that he held of him. And when he said these words, all manner of knights said, as Sir Dinas had said. Then, by his advice, and of Sir Sadok's, he let all the towns and castles within the country of Lyon know of King Mark's treachery, so that they might make what they will. Halfway through tonight's tale now, ladies and gents. Halfway. And it seems that little tournament that Galahad and Bagdamus put together was for no other reason than to lure Lancelot there so that they might have him slain. They've been unsuccessful so far, though, ladies and gents. Lancelot is a powerful, bold knight, and so no harm has befallen him. But when the evil King Mark discovered this, he sent his own man Sir Tristram there in the hope that Sir Tristram might be disguised as Lancelot, and thus the forces of Sir Galahad and King Bagdamus might slay Tristram. Once again, that plan has not been pulled off, ladies and gents. It's not worked at all. And what's happened instead is Sir Tristram has been badly wounded, and King Mark, not daring to just stick the knife in there and then, chose instead to pretend that he was giving some health and succour to that poor man, took Sir Tristram to a castle, and there he placed him in prison. Is Elton John a Tristram fan? I think Elton's Sir Tristram in this. I'm Sir Tristram in this. There, within that castle, he has imprisoned him. But when the beautiful Queen Isolde of Cornwall discovered this, she dispatched a knight, Sir Sadok, to find out what was going on. Sir Sadok went and ambushed the traitors who had gone and imprisoned poor old Sir Tristram, and slew a few of them, and then went off into the country of Leon, there to tell of Mark's treachery. It's been a long day, guys. I apologise for the yawn. Now, though, we'll round up tonight's tale with just how King Mark is dealing with his bad reputation. Now we turn to King Mark. And when he had escaped from Sir Sadok, he rode to the castle of Tintagel. There he made great cry and noise, and he cried unto harness all that might bear arms. And they sought and found where there were dead 4 cousins of King Mark's, and the traitors of Magoons. Then the king had his men interred in a chapel, and the king let cry in all the country that held of him to go to arms, for he understood to the war that must need be. When King Mark heard and understood how Sir Sadok and Sir Dinas had been arisen in the country of Leon, he remembered his thoughts and treason. Lo, thus he did. King Mark, to hide his treason, made counterfeit letters from the Pope, and he made a strange clerk bear them unto King Mark. And those letters that were fake specified that King Mark should make himself ready upon pain of cursing with his host to come to the Pope and help the Pope to go to Jerusalem and make war upon the Saracens. When this clerk was come by means of the king, anon King Mark sent those letters to Sir Tristram, and bade him to say thus, that he would go to war upon the miscreants, and if Tristram should go to war, then he would be allowed out of prison. When Sir Tristram understood this letter, he said thus to the clerk, Ah, King Mark, ever have you been a traitor, and ever will you be one. But clerk, said Sir Tristram, say you thus unto King Mark, since the apostle Pope has sent for him, bid him to go there himself, for tell him, traitor king as he is, that I will not go at his commandment, for I get out of prison as I may, for I see how I am always poorly rewarded for my true service. I think Tristram is forgetting here that he has been sleeping with King Mark's wife, but, we'll let that one slide. Then the clerk returned unto King Mark, and he told him of Tristram's answer. Well, said King Mark, yet will he be beguiled. And so he went into his chamber, and counterfeit letters, and the letters specified that the Pope desired Tristram to come himself to make war on the miscreants. And when the clerk came again to Tristram and took these letters, then Sir Tristram beheld them, and anon he saw that they were in King Mark's handwriting. Ah, said Tristram, false have you ever been, King Mark, and so will you end. And the clerk departed from Sir Tristram and came to King Mark again. But then there came 4 wounded knights into the castle of Tintagel. One had his neck broken, another had his arm stricken, a third was borne through with a spear, and the fourth had had his teeth stricken in twain. And when they came before King Mark, they cried and said, King, why do you not leave this country that's clearly already against you. Then King Mark was angry out of measure. And in the meanwhile, there came into that country Sir Percival de Galis to seek Sir Tristram. And when he heard that Sir Tristram was in prison, then Sir Percival made clearly the deliverance of Sir Tristram by his knightly means. And when he was so delivered, he made great joy of Sir Percival, and so each one of the other. Sir Tristram said to Sir Percival, "You will abide in these marches, and I will ride with you." "No," said Percival, "in this country I might not tarry, for I must needs into Wales." And so Percival left Tristram and rode straight to King Mark, and told him how he had freed Sir Tristram. And he told the king that he had done himself great shame to put Sir Tristram in prison in the first place, for he was the noblest knight in the world who was still living. "And know you well," said Percival, "he is one of the noblest knights in the world, who also loves Sir Tristram, and if he will make war upon you, you will not suffer the blows." "That is truth," said King Mark. "But I may not love Sir Tristram, because he loves my queen and my wife, the beautiful Isolde." "Fie for shame," said Percival. "Say you never so more. Are you not uncle to Sir Tristram, and he is your nephew? You should never think that so noble a knight as Sir Tristram is, that he would do himself so great a villainy to have his uncle's wife in lust." "However," said Sir Percival, "it might be that Sir Tristram loves your queen in a sinless way, because she is one of the fairest ladies in the world." Then Sir Percival departed from King Mark, and when he was departed, King Mark thought him of no more treason. Notwithstanding, King Mark granted Percival never by no manner of means to hurt Sir Tristram. And anon King Mark sent unto Sir Dinas the seneschal that he should put down all the people that he had raised, for he had sent him an oath that he would go himself to the Pope of Rome to war against the miscreants. And this is a fairer war than thus to arise the people against your king. When Sir Dinas understood that King Mark would go upon the miscreants, then Sir Dinas in all the haste put down all the people he had raised. And when the people had departed, every man to his home, then King Mark saw where Sir Tristram was with the beautiful Isolde. And then, by treason, King Mark let him be taken and put into prison, contrary to the promise that he had made to Sir Percival. And when Queen Isolde understood that Sir Tristram was in prison, then she made as great sorrow as ever has made any lady or gentlewoman. And then Sir Tristram sent a letter unto the beautiful Isolde, and he asked her to be his good lady, and if it pleased her, to make a vessel ready for her and him, and that he would go with her unto the realm of Logris, that is this land. When the beautiful Isolde understood Sir Tristram's letters and his intent, she sent him another, and bade him to be of good comfort, for she would make the vessel ready, and all thing to purpose. Then the beautiful Isolde sent unto Sir Dinas and to Sir Sadok, and prayed them in any way to take King Mark, and put him in prison unto the time that she and Sir Tristram should be departed. When Sir Dinas the seneschal understood the treason of King Mark, he promised her again, and sent her word that King Mark should be put in prison. As they devised it, so it was done. And then Sir Tristram was delivered from prison, and anon in all haste Queen Isolde and Sir Tristram went and took their counsel with what they would have with them when they departed. Twice in one night has King Mark, evil, treacherous, nasty King Mark, put poor old Sir Tristram in prison, ladies and gents. But here's the important bit. But this, Rosie, is a letter opener. I don't have any letters to open with the letter opener, so I just have the letter opener. But I quite like it because I get to wave it around and pretend it's a sword. But it's just a letter opener. But Sir Tristram and Isolde have now, ladies and gents, they have slipped out of prison for the second time tonight and have finally put in place plans to escape from King Mark and his evil treachery once more, once and for all, and to escape into England. Ladies and gents, we are at a supreme turning point in tonight's story. So it's good that you've asked that, Chris. Tonight, what's happened is this. Queen Isolde and poor old Sir Tristram have been so fed up with the treachery of King Mark, with his evil advances, and with being incapable of being together whenever they want. And so, ladies and gents, so they have finally escaped from Cornwall and into England. Ladies and gents, these two lovebirds are free. It's like farewell to arms all over again. I cannot wait to continue with this tomorrow night. Cannot wait. It will be wonderful. Wonderful and epic. That's the name of the game. Yes, Mark is married to her, but Rosie, Tristram fell in love with her first. In fact, ladies and gents, what I might do, and maybe not tonight, maybe on Friday, what I might do at some point, ladies and gents, is actually to just have a scope to bring everyone up to speed with the stuff. In fact, no, tomorrow night, Rosie, tomorrow night, before we begin with the show, I will give you something awesome. Not this. I will give you the intro to end all intros. I will summarise all that is great and good with the tale of Sir Tristram and Queen Isolde so far. I will tell you of how Sir Tristram went and fought for the honour of Cornwall. I will tell you how he first met and fell in love with Isolde. I will tell you of dark love potions and of becoming stranded upon the Welsh coast. I will tell you of the time that Sir Tristram was dragged naked to the Cornish rocks and nearly slain. I will tell you of how Isolde was sent to a leper colony, of how Tristram went to Brittany and forgot all about his love and married another Isolde. I will tell you how he left that Isolde and came to England. I will tell you of exile. I will tell you of riches. I will tell you of imprisonment. I will tell you of evil sorceresses. I will tell you all, Rosie. Before we begin tomorrow night's tale, I will give you the intro to end all intros. It will be the greatest intro we have ever done on this show. You will not want to miss it. None of you will want to miss it. At 9 o'clock UK time tomorrow. So make sure that we are all on time, ladies and gents. We'll have to begin on time so that we can cram it all in. At 9 o'clock tomorrow, we will have the greatest introduction to a show that we have ever done. And I will enjoy myself thoroughly to be able to enjoy it with you all. Thank you so much for coming tonight, ladies and gents. Thank you, Rosella. Thank you, Christian. Thank you, Rosie. Thank you, Danny and Karen and Amanda and all the people watching online, which if you're enjoying it, please do follow me at SimonTellsTales on any form of social media. It's all the same. But next, ladies and gents, we have Poetry Live, and I'm going to turn the back of some more packaging into a poem. So, find out just what Simon is pulling out of his cupboard to turn into a poem in a few minutes' time on Poetry Live. I'll see you there. Bye-bye.